Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to do a quick video about something that happened last week. I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not I was actually going to post it, but I decided to. That's why I'm doing this as a stream, not so much a live one. I'm just streaming through StreamYard, and then I'll post this later. I just figured that was faster than putting together a whole video with editing and voiceover and all that. This kind of does it for me. So I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. Just make it a real quick thing to share with you guys. Just because it was, it wasn't a huge deal, as you can see from the video title. I was confronted by another driver. Um, he wasn't necessarily like raging or angry, but you'll see what his reaction was to something so small that I almost just couldn't believe it. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the video leading up to the confrontation, and then I'll cover a few things about it, and then I'll play you guys kind of the audio of the confrontation. I'll go over why I'm not going to include the video, um, and then I'll kind of talk about the confrontation itself. So here we go. Okay, so kind of a whole lot of nothing, right? Like, I don't know if I would have even included what that guy did on one of my compilations. It was kind of dumb, especially if you look at the beginning. If we go back and see where he came from originally, he was right there. He was in the lane that I'm in, and then he got out of it because he probably thought it was going too slow, or he at least saw that the other lane was going faster. So he was in this lane. Let's keep that in mind for later. He was in this lane and then decided, you know, he was much faster in that lane. He moves up. Let's kind of skip forward a little bit here. And then here he's got this poor Honda right here, kind of confused. They're not really sure what to do. Like, do I stop almost and let him in? Do I keep going? Thankfully, I did decide to keep going. And I didn't know what he was doing, so I decided to um, go along with what's expected of me, which is not to stop in the middle of the road. So I just decided to keep going. I didn't know if he was going for that far right straight lane or if he was going for the turn lane, but I figured it's best for me to just go about my business. And then you can see here he wedges his way in, taking halfway out, and he got really close to the bumper too. And so the only thing I did was I looked in my mirror. You can kind of hear me chuckle a little bit, like half a second, and I shook my head a couple times. Like, that was it. You can't see me right now, but I'm mimicking the way I shook my head, which is like maybe two shakes, left, right, something like that. And so apparently, since he was at this angle, he had a really good shot of my driver's side mirror. And so he saw me shake my head. Okay, let's keep that in mind as well. And then we go forward here. He ends up backing up, which is always safe to do, especially with traffic approaching. Also, just want to point out no front plate, which you're supposed to have front and back plates in California. Just thought I'd point that out. So he then also gets very close as he goes around me, And then you'll see he doesn't move up to the white SUV right away, right? And you would have heard me say the word what? I said that because when he stopped, he just stared at me from his driver's side window through my passenger window. He just stared at me. And when I said what, I kind of also gave like a shrug shoulders gesture. And he kind of gave me one back, like, what? Just, I was really confused because all I had done was shake my head. And then I kind of later realized, oh, he probably saw me and I guess that offended him. Oh boy, did I ever offend him because he took off onto the freeway. I was behind him and he was long gone after a while. And then I took an exit to get where I was going, which was a place where I was picking up my daughter. And there's a drive through line in order to pick her up. It's all COVID protocols. You're not able to actually go on into the facility. You have to get in line with a bunch of other cars and they bring your child to you. And as I was approaching the exit of the freeway, who do I see in front of me but this guy? And I was like, oh, please don't turn into the place I'm going. And sure enough, he did. And it was kind of funny. There's a lot of signage that shows you which way you're supposed to go, but he ended up going the wrong way, and then I was going the right way, and he had to make a U-turn. It was all just it was funny to me. I was like, man, this guy just is must be his first time or something. Um, and so he now ends up behind me again, and so he pulls up behind me, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is kind of awkward. This guy that just stared at me for apparently no reason is now behind me picking up his kid too. Oh boy, did I not realize how awkward it was about to get because I didn't see his driver door open. He gets out of his car and he approaches my driver's side window, and this is what ensued.
Sorry about that, bud. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just changed my mind. I'm back in the freeway. I was gonna go back towards the back road.
Okay.
All right. I know you were shaking your head. Looks like you had an issue. I understand.
Yeah, it was
Come
just.
from, but
I mean, you didn't so much cut me off. It just
I
you
didn't
were
cut you off at all, right? I didn't get
right.
in front of you whatsoever. But I noticed you start shaking your
Yeah,
head.
I
I
just thought
get
it
it.
was funny.
Though.
You went from like all the way over.
I do the same time, but like I said, I changed my mind. So I guess I'm allowed
Yeah.
to change my mind, right?
Yeah, but
But I
if
still
you change your mind, you can't really make it everybody else's problem. You know, like you can't
I
just.
didn't make up your problem.
Other.
You're making it your problem, though. If you ask
I'm
me,
not
because
making
you
that
start
problem at all.
shaking your head.
I can't shake my head.
Well, what does that tell you? When you shake your head at me, you're being disrespectful because you're obviously saying.
I don't know if you're looking at me or not. I'm shaking my head.
Well, you were looking at me. You shake.
I looked in my mirror. I see that your ass is sticking
So
up.
what is that supposed to mean?
Okay, so
Fucking ass
I.
is stupid. What the fuck
It just
are you
means
doing?
wow. Look at what that guy just did.
Well, exactly. Like I said,
I
I'm
think you just.
allowed to change my mind. That's all
And I'm allowed to express my.
Well, that's why I'm
opinion.
talking to you. So,
Okay.
all right.
Cool.
It gets funnier every time I hear it. Not even just because of the fact that he confronted me at all, but the things he says. So if we go back here a bit, let me see if I can
Sorry
find.
about that, bud. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just.
He says, "Sorry about that, bud. I didn't mean to cut you off." First of all, he didn't cut me off, which I found really strange. That's why you kind of hear me like, I was so confused. I'm like, you didn't cut me off at all. You kind of made things difficult for that Honda, but you didn't really cut anyone off. So I thought that was strange. Continuing on,
Changed my mind.
I just changed my mind. Another another one that doesn't quite fit, seeing as he didn't change his mind. He was in the right lane. He just wasn't moving fast enough. He just wanted to get up to the front, past some cars. So that's uh, non-truth number two. Continuing.
No,
I'm back in the freeway. I was gonna go back towards the back road.
okay.
All right. I know you were shaking your head.
Yep, I was shaking my head. My God.
Like you had an issue. I understand.
Yeah, it was just.
From, but
I mean, you didn't so much cut me off. It just.
I didn't
You were.
cut you off at all, right?
I didn't cut you off at all. Well, dude, like 3 seconds ago, you just apologized for cutting me off. You actually opened the conversation with, sorry for cutting you off. So I'm all sorts of confused here.
I didn't get
Right.
in front of you whatsoever, but I noticed you start shaking.
Yeah,
Your
I
head.
just thought it was funny. You went from like all the way over.
I do the same time, but like I said, I changed my mind. So I guess
I changed my mind.
I'm allowed
Yeah.
to change my mind, right?
Yeah, but
But I
if
still
you change your mind, you can't really make it everybody else's problem. You know, like
So he's the one walking up to my car and confronting me, but I'm making it a problem. Okay.
You ask
I'm
me
not
because
making
you
that
start
problem at all.
shaking your head.
I can't shake my head.
Well, what does that tell you? When you shake your head at me, you're being disrespectful because you're.
That's being disrespectful. Yeah, sorry, dude. Respect, at least in my opinion, is earned. Everybody kind of starts off with like a base level of just general respect as a human being. And you pull something like that. Sorry, if my dad pulled a move like that, I'd probably shake my head at him too, and he would understand. He wouldn't be offended.
Obviously saying,
I don't know if you're
this
looking
guy
at me or not. I'm shaking my head.
Well, you were looking at me. You're shaking.
I looked in my mirror. I see that your ass is
Exactly.
sticking
So
out.
what is that supposed to mean?
Okay, so
Fucking
you know,
asshole, stupid. What the fuck
it just
are you
means
doing?
wow. Look at what that guy just did.
Well, exactly. Like I said,
I think
I'm
you're just
allowed
Exactly what? I still to this day do not know exactly what his point was, besides, how dare you shake your head at me?
to change my mind. That's
and
all
I'm
I'm
allowed to
saying.
express my
Well, that's why I'm
opinion.
talking to you. So,
Okay,
all right.
cool.
So the question is, what did that accomplish? It was just a ton of wasted energy. I mean, he's lucky that I was, mostly okay with the fact that he approached my car. I had my other child in the car with me as well. You could hear her singing earlier on in the video. And, I could have had a huge problem with, this guy approaching my car. He doesn't know anything about me. I'm apparently such a crazy person that I shook my head at him. So I'm surprised he risked coming up and confronting me over that. And it's just, I just don't know what he thought he accomplished with that. Like, did he go back to his car? Like, yeah, I showed him. I told him who's boss. He won't shake his head at anyone else again and disrespect them. And it was like it went from something I would probably have never thought of again. What he ended up doing in traffic, which oh, he just changed his mind. I'm allowed to change my mind. It's like, what you did was technically not good driving, and so I don't really think you're really allowed to do that. But either way, whether he had, you know, if he had cut me off and I had to slam on my brakes and I shook my head, it doesn't really matter what he did. The fact that all I did was shake my head and he felt the need to get out of his car and confront me, and it's like he was so inconsistent with why he was talking to me. It is just weird. Um, so yeah, I thought I would just share that with you guys, see what you think. Um, you know, put your thoughts in the comments. This already went a little longer than I thought it would, so yeah, just let me know, and I'll see about probably holding another actual live stream that's scheduled sometime in the future. So stay tuned for that. And I do have a next compilation in the works. I just need to put the finishing touches on it, and that should be that. All right. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you guys soon.